Hey, Algebra 2. This is Mr. Pleasance here. I seem to have a fever today, so I am going to be teaching you guys via this video. What we're going to be learning today is synthetic polynomial division. And so our objective is to learn how to use synthetic division as an easier way to divide certain polynomials. So keep in mind that this only works for certain polynomials. Alright, but before we start, let's review polynomial long division. So I want you the sub to pass out this worksheet for you guys. So pause the video until those are all passed out. Alright, this worksheet that you guys all have now shows you how to do these, but in case you'd like to hear it from me as well, I'm going to go through the example that it does on that worksheet. So in this case we have 6x squared plus x plus 8 divided by 2x minus 1. First step is divide 6x squared divided by 2x, which is 3x. And actually, I just learned you are technically supposed to write the 3x here. So see how they did this here? They wrote the 3x here. You should do that because it lines up it's like place value. So we put the 3x here. It's not really that important. It's just technically the best way to do it. It's the proper way, I mean. So then we do 3x times 2x plus 1. So now we got to do the whole thing. That's going to be 6x squared minus 3x. Now we have to subtract. A nice way to subtract so that you remember to distribute is a little poem that Ms. Olson just taught me, which is draw the line and change the signs. Alright, so now we just 6x squared minus 6x squared is 0. We write a 0 to show that it cancels out to 0. Then x plus 3x is 4x. And then we bring down the plus 8. I'll write that in black. And then we repeat the whole process over again. So we do 4x divided by 2x. That's going to be 2. So we put plus 2 over the like term, just to be proper. Then we do 2 times this whole thing. So that's going to be 4x minus 2. Draw the line and change the sign because we have to subtract. That cancels out to 0. 8 plus 2, that's 10. And since you can't do 10 divided by 2x, this is going to be a remainder, which we write as plus 10 over 2x minus 1. Alright, so now I want you to pause the video, and you guys are all going to work on all 4 of the problems on this side of the worksheet, just the front side. We'll work on the back side in a little bit. And then you can start playing again once you're done with that. Alright, we're almost ready to learn about synthetic division. But the first thing I want you guys to do is notice a certain pattern. So here's the pattern. This pattern that I'm about to show you only works when the coefficient here is a 1 in the divisor. Alright? So the first thing you'll notice is, okay, if we do 3x squared divided by x, we get 3x. So what you'll notice here is that the coefficient here and the coefficient in the answer are the same. That's pattern number 1. Alright, then we're going to multiply 3x times x minus 5. That's 3x squared minus 15x. And then we're going to subtract, so we draw the line and change the sign. Alright, here's the second pattern that I want you to notice. If I take the opposite of this negative 5 here, that's a positive, so the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. So if I do positive 5 times 3, that's 15. So that's really what's being added to this coefficient here. So we do, this cancels out, that's gone now. And then we do negative 5 plus 15, that's 10x. Bring down the negative 50. Alright, and now notice what we're going to do. We're going to do 10x. Let me change colors here. 10x divided by x, that's 10. So plus 10. So you'll notice that the coefficient here and the coefficient here are the same. Alright, then we're going to multiply 10 times x minus 5. That's 10x minus 50. And then we subtract by drawing the line and changing the sign. And then that comes out to 0. And actually in this case this also comes out to 0, so there's no remainder. So the answer is just 3x plus 10. All right, now that we've seen these a couple patterns, I'm going to show you how we would do this with long division, or with synthetic division. What you do is you take this x minus 5 here, and you just take the opposite of the negative 5, and so you make it a positive 5. So for instance, just so it's clear, if we had a divided by x plus 3, then we would use a negative 3 right here. Okay, so get rid of that. So we write a 5, then we put a box around it. And then we write all the coefficients of the problem, of the dividend, which is what's inside the box, 3, negative 5, and negative 50. So we write 3, negative 5, negative 50. And then we draw a line here. The first thing we're going to do for this is what's called synthetic division. It's called synthetic because it's sort of fake. We're just using a pattern. We don't actually have the variables all written there, so it's a little bit synthetic. So first thing we do is bring down the 3. The reason for this is the same reason why this ends up being the same coefficient as this over here, like we pointed out before. And the next thing you do is you multiply 5 times 3, which is 15. And again, that comes from this pattern here. 3 times the opposite of this negative 5. All right, and then we add them. That's 10. Then we multiply 5 times 10, that's 50. Add these, and it's 0. Now whatever is at the end, that's always your remainder. So in this case, there actually is no remainder, which is what we just learned. And then from there, you just start filling in the x's. So the first coefficient is going to be, and our answer is going to be 3. Then it's going to be 10. And since there's only 2 terms, this is going to be a 3x plus 10. A little pattern is that the exponent of the first one here is going to be 1 less than the coefficient of the dividend. Now keep in mind that synthetic division only works if the coefficient of the divisor is 1. Alright? So for instance, this would work for something divided by, let me use a different color, something divided by x plus 3, but it would not work for something that says divided by 2x plus 3. That's something that we haven't learned how to do yet. So the way that we're doing it would not work for this. It would, however, work for this one. Alright, let's get some practice in here. So let's say we have a problem that's like 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5x plus 1 divided by, remember we have to have that whole thing, divided by x minus 3. Or x plus 3, let's say. The reason this works is because that we can do synthetic division here is, again, because of the fact that the coefficient here is 1. Remember, coefficient is the number in front. It's implied that the number in front is 1. Alright, so we're going to do synthetic division. We take the opposite of this, put it in a box, and then we take all the coefficients. So we do 2, negative 3, 5, 1. Draw a line. First step, bring down that 2. Then we multiply 3 times 2. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Add, that's negative 9. Multiply negative 3 times negative 9 is 27. Then we do 5 plus 27 is 32. 32 times negative 3 is negative 96. Add it down, that's negative 95, and that's our remainder. So we write our answer as 2x squared. Now remember, the pattern is that it's going to be 1 less than that. That exponent in the first one is 1 less than that. Minus 9x plus 32 minus 95 over x plus 3. Alright, I'm going to give you guys one more practice problem. So the first thing we do is we take the opposite of this, so that's going to be a positive 3, put it in a box. Then we write out all the coefficients. 5, 2, negative 8, 3, negative 3. Draw a line. Bring down the first term. And then we're going to multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. Add, that's 17. 2 plus 15. Then we're going to multiply again. 3 times 17, which is 51. Then we're going to add. Negative 8 plus 51 is 43. Then we're going to do 3 times 43, which is 129. Then we're going to add, that's 132. Sorry, we're getting some big numbers here. Then we multiply 132 times this 3 again, and we get 396. And we add, that's 393. That's going to be our remainder. So it's going to be 5x to the third, it's always one less than this, plus 17x squared plus 43x plus 132 plus the remainder over x minus 3. Alright, now I want everybody to take some time working on numbers 5 and 6 on the opposite side of the sheet you've already been working on. So I should say dividing polynomials continued. You're going to do the synthetic division on number 5 and number 6. Pause the video until that is done. Finally, this is your homework. So the sub is going to pass out a little small piece of paper that has about 10 problems on it. This needs to be done by tomorrow. So I'm going to be checking them tomorrow that you have them done. Make sure you get them done today, spend some time in class, and get them done at home. But before you get started on them, I need to explain to you how it's written. It's written a little bit strangely. It's to make it easier for you. So here it says, this is the example in the first one. It says f of x equals x cubed minus 4x squared minus 5x plus 14, and it says find f of negative 2. All that means is just use negative 2 in your synthetic division here. So originally this would have been an x plus 2, so then we use negative 2 in the box. So this is just whatever this is what you put in the box. So I'll do this one as an example. Write out the coefficients. That's going to be a 1, negative 4, negative 5, 14. Draw the line, bring the first number down. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Add, that makes negative 6. Multiply negative 6 times negative 2, that's 12. Add those, it makes 7. Multiply negative 2 times 7, that's negative 14. And then those cancel out to be 0, so there's really no remainder. And your final answer is going to be 1x squared, so we just write x squared, minus 6x plus 7. And that's it. Good luck with all your homework. Make sure you get it done. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow. My fever will be down.